So you're an Amazon seller and you want to get the most visibility possible on your listing, get as many people as possible to click, and then get as many people on your listing to actually buy from you, not just to maximize ranking and conversion rate, but ultimately profitability on Amazon. And you want to have the clarity of mind that you're doing everything correctly, not missing out on anything important. And today, I, Sumner Hobart, a 7-figure Amazon seller, am going to show you every single important part of your Amazon listing and give you a real world example of what to do to improve upon your listing to make sure you're maximizing every section possible and not leaving any precious money on the table. And as a special bonus, once this video reaches 50 unique comments, I will randomly be selecting one winner who will get full, free, lifetime access to our Amazon SEO Masters course on Udemy, which I'll be linking below along with everything else mentioned in this video, which is a lot, by the way. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. First, shout out to Amanda in our student Facebook group for sharing her listing for us to review and go through sort of as an example. Amanda, don't take anything negatively. I'm going to be realistic and honest with every section of this listing to make sure I help you and then every single person watching to know exactly what to do to maximize your listing. There's a lot, so let's go ahead and start with the title. So the title section is right up here. This is the most important section of your Amazon listing when it comes to keyword optimization. So as we know, shoppers are typing in keywords that are relevant to our product. If our keywords that those shoppers are not in our listing, we're not going to show up. Okay, so more keywords in our listing, the better. Where is the most important section for keywords? The title. Okay, so with that in mind, how do we want to craft our title with that data? That means that we want to have as many relevant keywords as possible, not including misspellings, not keywords in other languages, but all other high search volume, highly relevant keywords we want to put here. And obviously I have full videos on keyword research here on the channel, which we won't be diving into. But basically what you want to do is use a tool like Helium 10 to generate a list of your most valuable, again, high search, high relevant keywords, organized by search volume, take the top of those keywords, and you want to insert those as many as possible into your title. So usually for most categories, Amazon gives about 200 characters that you can use to basically stuff with keywords. Now, what you want to do is, maximize your keywords, but rearrange your keywords and maybe kind of repeat a couple to where it sounds a bit more natural. Most of the top performing Amazon product titles sound very bizarre, like this one that you see here, and that's fine. It just needs to be somewhat legible. But the reality is most shoppers aren't looking at your title. They're not reading your title. They don't care. In general, what people care about is your images and your bullet points. Those are the most important in terms of conveying actual information that's going to convince someone to buy. So again, there's a difference between keyword optimization and conversions. Conversions focuses more on aesthetic appeal, on really diving into the features and benefits, where the title is more focused on getting seen. It's a visibility engine, okay? And it appears that they're utilizing the maximum number of characters that Amazon is giving them, so it's great. Maximizing the character usage, using as many individual keywords as possible with little keyword overlap, meaning not repeating a lot of the same keywords over and over again, which is the case here. Now, one kind of point of debate in the Amazon SEO community is within your title, it's important to have your brand name. And sellers kind of argue whether it should be in the very beginning, like this seller has, or at the very end. And this depends, okay? If you want to build brand recognition and just get people to recognize your brand, if your brand has power already, let's say that you already have, strong, let's say social media presence, retail presence, and you're expanding onto Amazon, super important to have it right at the beginning. But if your goal is more just traffic, if you know that your audience really doesn't care about the brand and you're not really looking to grow a brand and just sell products on Amazon, then in that case, you put your brand name at the end. For us, as we're growing our brand, and what we do is almost all the time, about 90% of the time, we put our brand name at the very beginning of the title, okay? Very similar to what we see here. And a little test that you can do is for your Amazon category that you're going to be selling in, who are the top sellers in that category? You can use a tool like Helium 10 here, right? And specifically the Helium 10 X-ray tool to identify who your top sellers are. And basically, whoever's doing the most revenue, those top kind of 5 sellers, do they have their brand name at the beginning or at the end of their title? If they all have it at the beginning, it might be a good idea for you to add it at the beginning. So in general, I add in the beginning. However, the first 5 keywords, especially in your title, are the most important in your title. So your title is the most important section for keywords. The very beginning of your title is the most important section of the most important section of your listing for keywords, if that makes sense. So anyway, first 5 keywords are the most important. Why? Because they influence your canonical URL. What's that? Your canonical URL is this URL right here. So you can kind of see, amazon.com/mighty-vessel-motivational-drinking-measurements. Okay. So basically, when you create your title, Amazon automatically generates a canonical URL for you. Why is this important? Because the keywords here, okay, right here, every time someone searches for your listing or clicks on your listing, these keywords appear. So this is powerful for Amazon search engine optimization, or SEO, and Google SEO. This actually helps get your Amazon listing showing up on Google. So if I type in, glass water bottle on Google, this could actually help me show up on Google if it had those keywords in the URL. Okay, so that's another kind of argument for why you want to maybe put your brand name at the end, is in order to kind of force Amazon to look at those first 5 keywords and take basically those first 5 and then make them your canonical URL. So let's say, it was, glass water bottle with straw. It could be glass-water-bottle-straw-large, something like that. Okay. And that's really beneficial. You can change your canonical URL later, kind of, but it's a bit difficult. So it's really important to make sure you get your title right as soon as you create your listing. That's actually a really big mistake I see sellers make. You need to kind of create your listing to have a shipping plan, right? So you create a shipping plan, you get your products from, let's say, China or Vietnam or Taiwan or wherever, shipped into Amazon's warehouses. So some sellers, they kind of create just a dummy title and then come back and then redo their title and fully optimize. When you create your title, right, for a new product listing, make sure it's 100% good to go from the very first time you create it, okay? Super important. So when you're creating your listing, don't just I'm going to just put like a placeholder, put XYZ LMNOP, and then later come back and make the full detailed title. Make the full title from the beginning, okay? Because it influences your canonical URL, okay? So these two are very highly linked. But anyway, not a huge deal, okay? Either way, I don't think that this is super important, like motivational drinking measurements. For me, what I think would be more relevant is to have glass water bottle, but it's kind of done. You can try to contact Amazon seller support to try to change it, but it is what it is. So this kind of leaves as is canonical URL. Title overall, really well done from what I can see. And I'll include some screenshots of some other great titles here on the screen to give you even more examples of some really phenomenal Amazon listings. By the way, if you want a full video tutorial on any of these sections, the title, the bullet points, the images, the A+ content, we have full tutorials on each of these sections on our channel, and I'll be linking the full SEO playlist that we have here on YouTube in the description section below, so you can kind of dive into any particular topic in case you feel I didn't talk about it enough or you still have questions about it. And of course, you can let me know in the comment section below as well. So that being said, we'll go ahead and get to the next section. Next, right under the title, obviously we have the review section. And you may think, oh, I have no control over this, so you just ignore it. Reviews, of course, as we know, are extremely important and very difficult to get. But here are my biggest strategies. So the biggest strategy to getting tons of 5-star reviews every single month is by adding more value to your product and product packaging than the customer expects. A great example that was given by another YouTuber is they were selling a funeral urn, right? Or basically like a jar where you keep the cremated remains of a loved one, okay? So really special. And what they realized as they were analyzing their competitor reviews is one of the biggest pain points is like, hey, I'm trying to transfer my grandmother's ashes into this jar, and it's really difficult. It's like spilling everywhere, and they're like, that's my grandmother. So like, it's super important. It's like, okay. So what they did is, guess what? So they were selling their burial urn, and they added a little funnel that was like 3 cents to manufacture. Super cheap, but really beneficial. So the funnel kind of helped, get all of the ashes where they needed to get without spilling, which in this case is especially important. But they didn't have that in their listing. It was like a special add-on that they surprised and delighted their customers. Their customers were like, this is a brand that actually cares about me, that, adds this in. They had a special little kind of note written in there that's like, hey, thanks so much for purchasing. We wanted to include this to make sure that, the whole process goes as smoothly as possible. We're sorry for your loss and wish you the best. So like a heartfelt little handwritten note, which is like, I don't know, a few cents, with that 3 cent funnel together, boom. dramatically increased their review rate and their 5-star reviews because why? The customer got more than they expected. They didn't have this in any of their images or their bullet points. It was something that was a value that was unexpected to the customer. Other ideas are having some kind of valuable digital product, maybe a Google Sheets template, really, really valuable PDF, digital planners, stuff like that, actually valuable digital products. You can go on Etsy.com, type in product here is used a lot for fitness. So what are some different kind of fitness digital products that I can include for free? Like, a 30-day fitness planner that you can download and print off that you could buy it for like $5 or $10 on Etsy. You can get it for free with this product. That's really valuable. So digital products, small physical products you could add on, just making the packaging better. You could even, buy bulk handwritten notes. You can actually go to different countries like the Philippines, hire an agency to write a bunch of handwritten notes. So it looks like it was written by you personally to the customer, but it was actually written by some random person, but you buy 1,000 of them, stick them in with all of your products and then, ship out. So there's different creative ways. The key here, be creative. Think about your customer. What can you do to increase value for them? That is the number one way. It's the hard way and it's the way that works. There's no easy hack to getting more reviews without breaking Amazon's terms of service. You could pay people to write you reviews. That is 100% against Amazon's terms of service, and they can shut down not just your listing forever, but also your Amazon account. So be very careful with that, and I don't recommend that, okay? And also make sure you're using the request review button within your Amazon orders. And I've had a video about that here on the channel as well, but just kind of want to note that to where every week you kind of click on this button, it automatically requests reviews through Amazon to all of your customers, and that just increases the likelihood of people leaving reviews. So yeah, those kind of two things, request review. If you're launching a new product, make sure you enroll in the Vine review program. This is where people get your product for free in return for review, but it's all done through Amazon, so it's legitimate. So Vine review, request review feature, and then the most important, give more value than your customer expects. Okay, so that's enough about reviews. Moving on to price, obviously extremely important, especially with Amazon. So the best pricing strategy is got to be super custom to your product. Go on Amazon, search for your main product keywords and think like your target audience and think, if I'm looking between my listing and the top seller, what price is going to be competitive compared to theirs? It doesn't mean it should be cheaper. All of our products are more expensive than the top sellers when we enter a new market. Why? Because we always create premium products. It's a super, super big key. Never come out with a cheap product that's with a lower price point, because a lot of these Chinese sellers that have their own, manufacturing plant or access, right, are always going to beat you on price, because you have to rely on other manufacturers where they can just produce it themselves. They're always going to win. So never compete on price on Amazon. It'll 1,000,000% be a losing battle. Always create a premium product, amazing packaging, amazing actual product, amazing experience, phenomenal images, all of that, right? So you're going to charge more, but be realistic. How much more will people realistically be willing to spend? Set a price, see how it converts, right? If your conversion rate, let's say, is like really low, like way below 10%, consider lowering it if possible. But with that in mind, you want to make sure that your gross margins on Amazon are a minimum of 35%. That's basically your revenue, minus your cost of goods sold. What's left over should be 35%. That's left over for other business expenses and for advertising and marketing. Okay, so 35%. But again, you can play with that there. It needs to be competitive, obviously. So, not too much I can tell you exactly because it's a case-by-case example. But we move down here. Okay, this is great. So they have a coupon code. Especially when you're launching a new product, always include a coupon code. Now, there's two options for coupon codes. You can have percentage off, like 15%, or a dollar amount. I have found that dollar amounts actually convert better slightly than percentage off. So I would change this, instead of save 15%, I would save $1, save $2, right? So when someone can actually see the dollar amount that they're gonna save, they're more likely than just some kind of odd percentage. Again, but you can test with it. I would recommend a dollar off, but you have a coupon, great, keep it running. And keep in mind that on average, only about 1/3 of visitors or buyers of this product are actually going to use the coupon code. Okay. So for example, what most Amazon sellers think is, if I have a code for 15% off, that means every sale that I make, that's 50% off the price, right? That I'm going to make in revenue. No, it's 1/3 of your sales and then 50% off those sales, right? But around, 60, 70%, those are going to be fully priced, because first of all, you have to sign in, but then you have to actually apply it And most people are just, clicking through Amazon, adding to cart and buying without actually adding it. They think it's automatic and they don't double check. Okay. Which is actually a good thing for us. So we get the sale, but we don't have to pay every time for that promo code, which is really great. So what I recommend with the pricing kind of coupon here is instead of selling, let's say that my ideal price, I want to sell for, let's say $24.99. What I would do is instead of $24.99, I would set my price to $25.99 with a $1 coupon code. Because then basically, in the seller's eye, it's the same. And as you can see, the coupon code doesn't just appear on the listing, but it also appears in search. So when I type in, as you can see here, water bottle, and I scroll down, this example here, this seller, I can say 14%. So what does that mean? What stands out more, this listing or this listing, right? This one right here. And the reason is for this coupon code. So your coupon code, when you have it, even if you make the same profit, having a coupon code increases your conversion rate, if that makes sense. Why? Because it makes your listing stand out. As you can see, it actually increases the size of your listing a bit more. And basically the bigger your listing is in search, the more likely people are going to click. And then once they click, again, they're more likely to buy because you're providing them a coupon where others aren't. And the reality is it doesn't matter if someone's saving money. Someone would rather feel like they're saving money than someone who actually saves money and doesn't feel that way. It's all about perceived value. It's all about emotions. So yeah, great strategy to have a coupon code. I assume the pricing is strategically set. That's great. So we covered all this section here, and now we're going to move down to the bullet points or key product features. Now, the bullet point section here, also known as the key product features section, is important for two reasons. First is for keyword optimization. Anywhere you see text on your listing, that's opportunity for you to put keywords that help you get searched when a shopper types those keywords into Amazon. So the more keywords, again, the better. But also we want to use this to convince. Shoppers are different. Some shoppers are going to be more visual and some are going to be more, it's still visual, but read, right? Read text versus looking at images. I'm much more image focused and many other shoppers are, but the copy is still very important. So just don't assume like, oh, okay, images are king, let's ignore the bullet points. Still very important for both conversions and keyword optimization. Now, overall, Amanda, you've done a good job here. What I like is having all caps in the beginning. I do this with my products. I 100% recommend this. I think it might technically be a gray area with Amazon's terms of service, but I haven't seen a single negative. And the benefit of this is that by having all caps right at the beginning, you're making it very easy to read and putting the most important information first. Now, what I would recommend differently is to really start with a benefit, okay? Which you've kind of done in some of these and others are not. So that's kind of recommendation number one is start with the benefit in all caps, then back it up with a feature. So that's kind of point number one. Number two, because this is an important section for SEO and keywords, you want to make sure that each of these is 200 characters. And it seems that these are a bit less than 200 characters. And actually, if I just kind of copy, right? If I copy all, so we have 5 bullet points. So if I go to lettercount.com, and I count the characters, we have a total of 788 characters that are being used, where ideally we want around 1,000, right? Or even a little bit more. So 200 to 250 characters per bullet point. Why? Because more keywords means more visibility. That's also more opportunity to convince your kind of viewer who's, window shopping to ultimately become a buyer. So right now, 788 characters in total. We want to bring that up to about 1,000 or even above that. So that's point number 2 is increase the length. Number 3, always super simple hack that'll immediately increase add to carts is to add the word in all caps, add to cart at the end of your 3rd bullet point. So 3rd bullet point here, add the word add to cart now right at the end. And guess what's going to happen? More people are going to add to their cart. Well, why? When you tell someone, it's psychology, but when you tell someone what to do, they're more likely to do it, even subliminally, right? So it's super important. If you're a digital marketer like I am, this is like, marketing 101. Always end your copy with a call to action. Every kind of block of text, the purpose should be to drive someone to action. So what do we want people to do here? Do we want to educate them on our product or get them to buy our product? So it's a little thing, but either in the 3rd or the 5th, you can have the words add to cart. I actually now put them in the 3rd bullet point. And the reason is on desktop, we can see all 5, but on mobile, for the most part, we can only see the first 3. So when we see the first 3, we want to add to cart because some people are just going to see the first 3. Maybe that's convincing enough. They see the images, they add to cart. Okay. So add to cart, increase the length a bit more and be a little bit more benefits based. Also, what I do personally, which is against Amazon's terms of service, but I haven't seen anything negative happen for this, and I keep doing this, is I actually add emojis, depending on my brand, to the beginning of each bullet point. Why? Again, to make it pop a lot more, make it stand out, and make it kind of ingrained in my audience's mind a bit more. So overall, bullet points are good. I would say your title is like, I would score it like an A. There's always room for improvement. Here, I would give your bullet points maybe a B. Okay, they're good, they're solid, but they can be improved a bit more to get them into the A range. So to give you a few examples, you can pause to look. I won't read through everything. I'll just show you kind of the benefit versus feature. Benefit is what your product does for your buyer. The feature is just what your product does, right? So feature, what it does, benefit, what it does for the person. So for example, creamy velvety froth in seconds. Got it. Creamy, velvety seconds. They've identified and read their reviews, and they know that their audience is and by the way, I actually bought this product. Their audience knows they're using this for coffee frothing. So what do they do with their images? It's all about coffee. In their main image, they have coffee, right? It could be for anything, right? Maybe it's blending creatine or protein powder or whatever else, matcha powder, all different uses for this frother. It's basically an electric thing that you use to froth. But they recognize, okay, most people are using this for coffee drinks. Boom, we're going to really focus on coffee. So anyway, creamy, velvety froth in seconds, simple coffee making experience. So simple, that's the benefit. Like, let's say we've designed this interesting matcha whisk. That's a keyword that they're just inserting there, but we've designed this whisk for comfortable grip, blah, blah, blah. So this is features. Comfortable grip, that's what it does. Simple on and off button, that's what it does, right? Portable, that's what it does. Those are all features. That's describing the product. So it's portable, it's comfortable grip. What's the point? Who cares? Well, it makes your coffee making experience super simple. Okay, that's the benefit. So we put the benefit here. So basically, list out what your product does, and then have a friend sit on the opposite side of the room and say, hey, Bill, here's what my product does, and start listing it. Say, we have a simple on and off button, and then only have him respond and say, who cares? Well, it's like really, and then you're like, okay, well, it looks really cool. It's like, who cares? It looks really cool. Okay, well, actually, it's super easy to use. It's like, okay. So the more that the person asks, so what? And you have to respond, and then to that, they say, so what? The further down that line you go, the closer you get to your true benefit, the real reason it's helping. Because if your product doesn't solve any problem, who's going to buy it? Why would someone exchange their hard-earned money, take their time to research, and buy a product that doesn't do anything, right? Or doesn't do anything different from anybody else? Of course, they're not going to buy. So benefits, obviously, you should know what your benefits are. To identify, what I would recommend doing is what you can actually do is, again, use the free Helium 10 Chrome extension, which I've referenced before. And I love this tool, by the way. And then you can actually use the Review Insights tool here, which I can kind of click on just to show you. Go to Review Analysis, and you have to give it a second to load. And basically, it will show you all of the most common phrases used in your competitors' reviews. So you can just kind of read through, right? Like 2.5 star, what are these? I thought it was a milk frother, but it wasn't. I thought it was dead batteries, but blah, blah, blah. You have to kind of analyze a bit, but look at what do people love most about this product and what do people hate the most? How is that going to help you? First of all, it's going to help you develop your product, but then also it's going to help you know exactly, okay, I know exactly what's most important to my audience in order, which is going to come in handy for the next thing we talk about, which is images, but also for your bullet points. Because you have 5 bullet points here. So what is the most important thing to your customer? What's more important than anything else? That goes first. What's second most important? That goes here, and so on. So not only should you know what are the 5 most important things that your customer needs to know before they buy, you need to know what order they're in, and nothing will ever be fully perfect. But the way that you're going to know is by analyzing your competitors' reviews. And if you have an existing product, analyze your own reviews. Look at the most negative reviews and the most positive and start tallying what are the most frequent, right? And you literally quantitatively can see, okay, 123 times the batteries was an issue. Then 101 times people loved the amount of froth that it created. And then, 31 times people talked about the button and it was super easy to use and blah, 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 right? Totally depends on the product, but it's super, super valuable. Okay, it's free data. You can analyze it on your own without a tool. You can use a free tool like Helium 10, and I don't understand why everyone is not talking about this all the time. It's the most important data that you can get for your product, and it's completely free. So rant over for that. Just want to show you this example, and I'll just quickly show you a couple more for bullet points. All right, again, feature. Your dream tumbler, a little bit weak. Advanced lid construction, earth-friendly durability, dishwasher safe lifetime warranty. Okay, I like that, dishwasher safe. Earth friendly, that's a benefit, right? Let's say that they've identified, we're going to compete in the Tumblr space, but we want to make a Tumblr specifically for eco freaks, right? Let's just say for people who are eco-friendly. Let's say there's people who I'm going to make one for gym rats. I'm going to make one for eco-friendly people. I'm going to make one for pet lovers. So many people buy Tumblrs. Within that, there's all those sub niches, and this goes into product research as well. Serve one of the sub niches, that specific audience that's not being served right now. There's all these generic Tumblrs. Let's make a Tumblr, boom, specifically for. So again, I'm just kind of talking here, but that could be the key here. And then I'll show you kind of one more. Now, personally, I would change all these bullet points just with my own personal voice. Honestly, I feel the bullets that we make for our own products are just out of this world killer. We add humor. We add a lot of statistics. Like we do market research, and then we're like, 8.1 out of 10 customers prefer our design over a competitor, or etc. So anyway, but I can't show you my products because it's very easy to rip them off. All right, so well, somewhat. Next, we have this product, voice activated, so easy, touch on, boom. Last 2 times longer, that's the key here I want to kind of show. Great. Last twice as long as our competitor, that's amazing. Easy installation. I would have something like this, easy installation, or unlike other faucets, you don't need a master's degree in engineering to use this. Even a toddler could put this together, blah, 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 blah. Full instruction guides included, right? Using a little bit of humor, something like that as an example, okay? So anyway, you can just pause to look at those. So yeah, going back, benefit first, maybe included an emoji, but it's not a must. Increase the length so you have more keywords and more opportunity to convince your customer, and then add the add to cart text here in the 3rd bullet point. But all these concepts, benefits and features, length, SEO, appeal to all the rest, but we're over halfway done, so let's keep moving. So for the images, just like every other section here on the listing, you want to make sure that you utilize everything that Amazon gives you. Sort of like if you were selling products in a retail store, you're giving shelf space. So let's say a retail store gives you, a ton of shelf space and you only use like half of it. Well, that's half less sales that you'll make because you could fill that up, catch more people's attention, have more of your products out there. The same is true with everything, including images. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 images in a video. That's great. Just make sure you're utilizing all the image spaces that Amazon gives you. So that's kind of point number 1. If they only give you, this many spaces, perfect. Utilize them all. And what's great is you have a video uploaded here. There's kind of a back-end hack that if you're not Amazon brand registered, that you can upload a video, but usually most videos can only be uploaded by brand registered sellers. If you're not familiar, being Amazon brand registered means that you have a trademark for your brand, right? In this case, we have a trademark for Mighty Vessel, and we have submitted our trademark through the Amazon brand registry program. Amazon reviews, they're like, yep, you're a legitimate brand. And then what happens is, boom, you get opened up to all these opportunities. The difference between being a regular seller and a brand registered Amazon seller is you have access to A+ content, brand story, which we're going to cover in this video. Also headline search ads, video ads, sponsored display ads, brand analytics, brand transparency program, a ton of benefits, actually more benefits than ever before. So if you're planning on selling on Amazon, it should be in your plan at some point, usually sooner than better, to get a trademark. So file for a trademark with, the US government or the UK government or wherever you're selling. And then register that trademark with Amazon brand registry, and it's going to open you up to all these opportunities. Another one of those opportunities, obviously, is being able to have a video here on your listing. So great job with having a video. Just having a video is perfect, which we'll cover here in a second. But first, the most important image of all of your images is your main image, your first image. This is the first thing that shoppers will see. So if this image does not catch people's attention, they're not going to click and they're not going to buy. Click-through rate, or also known as CTR, is an extremely important metric, not just ultimately to get sales, but also for ranking, for getting seen on Amazon. It's a metric that Amazon analyzes. So your main image dramatically increases your click-through rate. Obviously, of course, what else can people see? If we go to an example, just typed in water bottles here on Amazon. So we can see title, reviews, price, right? If it's Prime or not, and then the main image. But what takes up the most space here? The main image, right? And we're fully in control of this main image, right? Within Amazon's, guidelines, we're fully in control of this. So this is what's really, you change your main image, you can have a dramatic increase of click-through rate and then ultimately sales. So what would I recommend here, being, completely honest, is this is a good main image. Okay, I've seen a lot worse. This is really good overall. However, your packaging competes with your water bottle. Your water bottle is almost actually smaller than your packaging. So what I would do is I would do a test, okay, where you put your main bottle bigger on the image and put your packaging behind it, okay, to where it's a little bit smaller. That's one idea for a change, but I would A/B test a few. You should always be testing your images. Now, how do you test your images? There's two ways. Number one, again, if you're brand registered, you have access to something else called Amazon Experiments. Run an Amazon experiment where you test two different main images. Say, try this one and try the one that I recommend, create a new image and then see which one gets more sales ultimately, which one performs better, then switch it out. So let's say you have version A, version B. Version B wins. Boom. Now version B is our new image. Now we test with the new one and so on. The more you test, the more sales you're ultimately going to make. Super important now more than ever on Amazon. But this is something that's been done in the digital marketing space outside of Amazon for a long time. Okay. So yeah, definitely important on Amazon. So number one is Amazon Experiments. But let's say you don't have access to Amazon Experiments. How do you test? You can use a tool called PickFu. Okay. And this is the most common, right? So we have two main images here, image A and image B. And then we ask participants, which one stands out more? Which one are you more likely to click on? And they select and give their reason for why. I love PickFu. I use this for packaging design, product design, main image testing. And I'll have a link to PickFu where you can get 50% off your first poll in case you're interested. But yeah, super important to A/B test because literally this can totally shift your entire listing because just like, if you send out an email and your subject line says XYPBA, no one's going to click on it. Even though it's like the best written email in the world, if your subject line is like just garbage and doesn't make any sense and doesn't stand out, no one's going to click and see your beautiful email that it took you, let's say $1,000 and hours of work. It doesn't matter. So first impressions matter extremely on Amazon. And one of the biggest ways to influence that is your main image. So good main image, but definitely be testing because I think there's opportunity for improvement. Now, how do we know what we should do for our main image? Go on Amazon for your product category and look for kind of the top sellers in your overall category. In this case, we're selling a glass water bottle, but we just want to look at water bottles in general to see. So that was kind of example number one I would do. Packaging a little bit more behind and make your product more prominent. So that's number one. Number two, based on the data that we see here, as a little kind of like hack, go to Amazon, type in a keyword and then scroll down. Okay. Scroll past the sponsored here. So we start here with this ice water. If a product is ranking high on Amazon, like all of these are ranking very high for a very competitive keyword, which is water bottle, okay? That means they're probably selling a lot, right? They have high conversion rate, high click-through rate. They're doing things well. So we want to mimic them. We want to kind of see what they're doing and try to do it even better. So number two idea for A/B testing, have a woman's hand holding the bottle at an angle. Why? Because all these other bottles are all standing up straight. This really stands out to me. And this could stand out to a lot of your target audience. So test that. And then they have the colors down here that you can include. Or if you don't have multiple colors, you could, first of all, I'd make this bigger. Like there's still all this room up here. I would increase the size, boom, to where it's like just bigger overall to where it's as big as possible. And same thing with all of these. You want your product in your image to take out almost as much space as possible. Really big. The bigger your product is in your image, the more clicks and sales you're going to make. Okay. So have someone holding it. If you don't have multiple options, get rid of these, right? You just have someone holding it and then try. Sometimes Amazon will accept, sometimes they won't because it's a bit of a gray area with Amazon's terms of service. But you could have a sticker here. Think about what sets your product apart from your top competitors. What's unique? Is it it's BPA free? It's it's a certain size. It comes in a 2-pack, whatever it might be. In that little kind of bubble, right? Or it's like a little kind of like sticker bubble here, which let's see if anyone's already doing that. So I can give you a real example. Or even something like this is brilliant, right? 100% leak proof. This might be just a made up, this may not actually come with the product. They just made this up and mocked it up. That's a great example. Or instead you could like basically take that as a bubble, put it down here and say 100% leak proof. Okay. So that's really great idea. And we'll just kind of scroll through, see if there's anything else. Kind of interesting showing it's one product, but we can see it in two different ways. So it's kind of endless in terms of what you could do to A/B test. Small changes can have a big impact. And the reason I'm spending so much time on the main image is because of how important it is. So yeah, anyway, so that's kind of one recommendation. As I like to focus more on these bigger, where are they at? The bigger bottles all the way at the top. There we go. So there's that. Again, here, kind of put the packaging behind. And yeah, that's just some kind of quick ideas that you can do to A/B test, but do more research on your own. Let's say it comes with a filter. So what most sellers would do is they would just have the bottle. It's like, okay, good. Take the filter out, put it next to the bottle, and it's kind of tilted so it kind of stands out a bit more. So people can really see, okay, hey, it comes with a filter. Got it, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't know. So really, really important. Spend 80% of your time on your main image, okay? Of all your images, don't spend 10% of your time on 10 images. Spend 80% of your time on one image, and then 20% of your time on the other 9 images, okay? As an example. So I think I've got the picture here. Also, just gonna show you some other, not necessarily for the main image, but just other image examples. So you can just kind of, pause, or if you want, you can search for these on Amazon yourself. With some really great product photography overall. We have this thyroid supplement over here. So main image is pretty. For this main image, again, I would have some kind of call out. What I would do for this, here's another example. Actually, I'm critiquing an example that I'm giving, but so this is, what is it? So it's iodine and ashwagandha. Okay, I would take, what does the natural ashwagandha powder look like? Take the powder and put it next to, or kind of around or next to the bottle. And I would have a bubble here and have something, again, what's important about this is let's say it's USDA organic certified. So take the USDA organic certified logo and put it right kind of partially on the bottle and partially off. And actually, I'll see if I can see, I'm just gonna type in just to show you, supplements are super competitive. The more competitive a category is, there you go, like this. You put the actual product, it's inside, it's also outside. Some of these also have really strong external Amazon presence. So they don't need to market as well on Amazon because they have just a bunch of people coming outside of Amazon. Yeah, but there we go. There's another example of what I'm talking about. So you kind of have the powder there. So we can see turmeric, ginger. It kind of shows to me, okay, this is more natural product. I can really see the ingredients here, where the other ones are more hidden. It makes me a little bit more nervous. Here they show, hey, we have gummies. Look, here's the style. This is the exact gummy you can expect, and here's the ingredients. Little changes like that, okay? So I hope I've kind of been clear on that. One last example just for images. They do a really great job here. And this is an electric lunchbox. And what's really cool is on their packaging, little hack, with your product packaging, find a creative way to take your main product keyword and put it on your packaging. Why? This is you're gonna get way more clicks and conversions whenever someone types in electric lunchbox, just by having the word on the packaging, right? So number one, put your keyword on the packaging if it makes sense. You don't have to do this. Some products we do, some products we don't. Then put your packaging in your main image. Why? Because you're basically putting a keyword in your main image by doing that. And it's not going to have any SEO benefit in terms of keyword optimization. But when someone types in electric lunchbox and they see, even subliminally, the word electric lunchbox in your image, they're more likely to click and buy your product, right? And then I'll show you just a few other examples here of just some other, right? To kind of get our blood flowing, some different ideas that we have, right? Really good quality images. They also have a video here. And lastly, Tide, surprisingly, has done a great job. Most of these big consumer product companies do a terrible job on Amazon. This is an exception. So dissolves even in cold water. Boom. Benefit. We know that our audience is really, does it dissolve in cold water? I don't know. Yes, it does. And it's showing it just dissolve. It seems really clean. Works on, so what are the most common types of stain? Let's say it's tomato-based and wine-based or grape juice-based. Boom. We have our data. We went on Google, we say, what are the most common types of stains, right? Or I go on Google and I type in how to take out stain for. I look at the first 2 search results and it's for wine and it's for tomato sauce. Boom. Then I know statistically the most common types of stains. I need to incorporate that in my main image. This is not just, let's make pretty images. We are really honing in on multiple data points and we're trying to figure out what are the biggest pain points our customers are going through. And we really want to show that our product solves those pain points better than anybody else and that we understand our audience better than anybody else. So anyway, I know this is a ton of info. This is literally a crash course. I'm sure your brains are kind of right now of just the information overload, but I hope you know that the value you're getting here is more than what most $3,000, $10,000 Amazon FBA courses ever give. I can tell you because I've enrolled in them in the past. All right, so let's see, 3-in-1. Beautiful. But anyway, yeah, you can just look for yourself. It has way more, detergent than the average. So that's great. What I would have is top competitor, arrow pointing here, and then us. So really great. This is actually a phenomenal example. Okay. And they have a video. So really great job on the images, terrible job on the title. And then look at the canonical URL. Awful. But they don't care because people who are going to this Tide listing, they're not searching on Amazon discovering, they're coming to Amazon to buy Tide, right? Tide is like a magnet that people are coming because it has so much marketing and advertising outside of Amazon. All right, so that was kind of really honing in on the main image, and I'll quickly try to run through the remaining images. So just like the bullet points, we want to focus what is most important to our customer, put it first. What's second most important? What's third most important? Actually ordering them, okay? And it's different for every shopper. But overall, let's say 60% of shoppers, this is number one. Then for 30%, this is number one. For 10%, this is number one, etc. So that's how we want to order our images. It's like telling a story. So it's like, what's most important? Put it first after the main image. So main image is just to grab attention. Highlight the product and maybe like a benefit there or a really important feature. Really basic, right? And it needs to have a white background, by the way. But then once someone clicks on our listing, now it's like conversion time. Now it's really time to not focus on clicks. It's time to focus on getting sales. So what's most important first, second most important second, and so on, okay? You don't want to put the most important thing last because they can see, okay, okay, and they click out, right? Very short attention span. So with that being said, as I'm looking through your images, I have to say really good quality overall. Obviously, these were professionally done. You've definitely invested in them, so really great job on that. Now, here's what I would do personally. We are extraordinarily analytical when we come to our images, so I try not to overwhelm you, but just kind of give as good of detail as I can. So every image should focus on one thing, one main thing, okay? So in this case, what you're showing me here is, okay, it's diverse, right? We can use it in all different environments, and it's large capacity. It's kind of like two things at once, and it becomes a bit cluttered. It's a beautiful image, beautiful font, and all of that. And I love the icons, a really great job overall. But in general, I like to focus on one thing. So what's the most important thing? Boom, that goes first. So in this case, is it more about the large capacity, or is it about the versatility? Okay, and it's just a thought. You know your audience well. Maybe there's a very specific reason you did it this way. Here, okay, so we're trying to show the dimensions. And here's my recommendation. When it's definitely important to show dimensions for a lot of different types of products. Really great image type. What I'd recommend doing is not just to have a realistic background. Like actually, like for example, go to an Airbnb or within your own home, go get a professional photographer in there and take a photo like in your home or wherever it would be used. Is it in the gym? Is it on a hike? Put it in a realistic environment of your user so it's to scale. Especially in a home, that's like the best because it's really easy to scale. So instead of like, because technically you're correct, right? It's 13 inches tall, it's 2 inches here, 11 inches here, etc. Right? Here's all the dimensions. That's technically correct. But what I've seen with so many listings, especially when it comes to wall art, is when you do it like this, where it's just kind of, not in a realistic background, is people get upset. They're like, oh, it's way bigger, way smaller than I thought. And then you say, well, I told you the dimensions, but they can't visualize the dimensions. They're like, I have no idea. So if you show a real person holding it, like in a gym, or it's on a countertop in a kitchen, that's the best place for dimension. So put it there, have the dimensions, and instead of all this additional information here, what I would have is like, perfect size for anywhere or whatever it might be. So it's focusing on the dimensions. So you have the features, the dimensions. What's the benefit of the dimensions? I would have like a bubble, say stores 20% more water or super convenient, whatever it might be. So just the dimensions in a realistic environment, and then like either a title up at the top or like a bubble that says, the kind of important benefit about the carrying capacity, convenient size. It can, shrink down. I don't know, whatever it might be. So yeah, so that's kind of number 2 here. And then what do we have on the side? So this is use handle as a device stand, ergonomic. That's really cool. I would have just glanced over this. This is super innovative. I don't know if other water bottles do that. That would be a really cool image just to show a lifestyle image. So have the full water bottle, put the device or like, unique device handle. Like we can put your cell phone there and actually watch. That's actually amazing. This is a really cool water bottle. I don't know if other ones do this. Maybe I'll buy it. What I would do, is I would have a separate image, have a gym environment. So it's a gym, it's the water bottle and someone's phone there, and they're doing yoga or they're working out while watching, tutorial. That's really cool. Or like at a home gym, something like that. So I would have a separate image for that because I would have glanced over that. That seems like an important point. But again, if this is just cool and cool to me, but it's not important to your audience, then ignore what I'm saying. But if this is an important point to your audience, you want to have a full image. the 5 most important things to your audience, you want to have 5 important images, super honed in, focusing on that. Okay. Ergonomic handle, easy to carry. Is it really different from any other water bottle? I don't know. 3.14 wide mouth glass bottle. Yeah, that could go kind of here. So have like a, I don't know how to describe this, it's kind of tough. Have like 2 lines, going down here, kind of like a highlight, right? Like it kind of like it bounces out and it shows like, hey, because we showed like the bottle, but we want to see the lid. And that's great that you have a lemon for dimensions. Now just make sure, is this exactly scaled? Like, will a regular kind of average sized lemon that's sliced, will it fit inside of the bottle exactly like this? Or is it going to be a little bit big or small? Like, did someone just Photoshop this in and it's not to scale? Because one of the biggest reasons for returns is getting something I didn't expect. It's too big or too small. So we want to make sure it's as accurate statistically as possible. Even subliminally, you'll be shocked by these small changes, how big they play. So yeah, we have a dimension image, maybe like a home gym or, at the gym image with that device stand. We have, this, I don't, again, you have to kind of choose. I love the image here, but really what you want to highlight is that the most important is the capacity. Another thing is about the cleanliness. I think you mentioned that in your bullet point. I don't know if I see anything here. Like, what is this? So it's convenience here. This one's about leak proof, eco-friendly. Okay. Maybe for here, so this image to me shows cleanliness. It's nature, it's pristine, it's non-polluted. Instead of the large carrying capacity or the multiple use, maybe here I would have, talking about the type of glass, the type of materials that makes it pure, that doesn't corrupt the flavor. It doesn't have any of those harmful, mimicking hormones or whatever else in there. Just an idea. Okay, again, you need to do your audience research with the review analysis and keyword analysis, figure out what's most important to them, and then do that, right? I'm just kind of, if it's important, this is what I would do. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I would do for this image. Instead, maybe talk more about the quality of the materials that are used. And you can also incorporate the large carrying capacity if it fits, but yeah, focus on one thing. So the purity of it, the dimensions in a real world environment with like a pop out that kind of shows the glass bottle. Moving on to another image that kind of has this full image here, showing how to use it. This is solid. This is really good. So one hand, one click open. Shows how easy it is. Good. And it shows that there's 2 ways of drinking it. So that's all. This is a really good image. I wouldn't really change anything here. I think it's really well done. One thing I would do though, actually, is I would consider having a darker background to make the white of this kind of pop more, as well as the white here. So this is a white background. This is a white product. It kind of blends in a little bit. I might make it a little bit darker, like a charcoal color or something to make it pop more, or make it like red, like a darker red. I would play around with a few different things just to kind of see. But anyway, triple leak-proof design, great. Okay, so you have someone's hand holding it upside down, showing, hey, this does not leak. Here's the proof. It's sort of like an infomercial. You kind of think of your images. It's like an infomercial broken out. So that's exactly kind of showing how it's used. Solid triple. So that's a really good image as well. Definitely agree with that. Eco-friendly. So durability and design. This is interesting. So the headline here is eco-friendly, but you're showing me all the different parts of it, which are good, but it's kind of like, it kind of doesn't go. I would put eco-friendly here. I would make this one about eco-friendly because it's about the environment. And then for this one, I would focus on the durability and design. Again, if that's important, just showing all the different aspects. It's a really beautiful image. Everything broken out. That's really nicely done. And then also personally, just randomly, is there anything about washing this? So up to this point, I can see like, okay, I know how much I can fill water, right? I can fill it. I know that I can carry it anywhere. I know that it doesn't spill. I know all the components of it, but now about washing, there's no information for me. Is this easy to wash? Like there's all these components. Is this going to be really difficult to wash? Maybe I'll buy someone else that's really easy. If that's, important to your audience, make sure you have an image about washing. And I saw the video here. Actually, I'll go ahead and play. Let me just turn off the volume so it doesn't really compete. So I love this. You're kind of showing the story, someone filling, right? They can infuse with it. That's really cool. I didn't see that in the image. It could be cool for one of your images. Okay. So you have your product image. Maybe one of them, it should have some stuff infused to give them an idea. It's like, hey, I could actually infuse this. It also makes it kind of pop a bit more, shows the versatility. So instead of just the same kind of product image of like empty bottle, empty bottle, empty bottle, or like bottle with water, bottle with water, bottle with water. It's like bottle with water, empty water bottle, one with lemon in it. Just showing the versatility of it could be an idea. All right, so easy close, doesn't leak. See, for that, I would have the device like showing that I can actually play with it. Like it's over there in the corner, not really doing anything while she's working out. I would have like the device on there. She's actually using it while she works out. So she's sweating and then she's grabbing it and pops it open. Couple different ways to sip. That's really great what you did with the split screen. You close it, leak-proof seal. Nice, that's really well done. Showing it in use, that's great. But to me, again, what's missing is I know that I can fill it and use it. Now what about cleaning, right? I want to go through the whole process, and your video could do a great job of doing that. It's like a story. Show someone filling it, and you could even have a pop-up like it shows as someone's filling it, you show the capacity for how much can go inside. Okay. Then it shows someone, drinking from it and shows the two different ways to drink. And then you show someone working out with it and shows the device holder and then show that it's leak proof and then show that it is machine washable or whatever. Like it's easy to wash, just some slight changes to make. And it could be, I think even better, but it's a great that you even have a video. It's a really good video overall. I'm, just super, super specific about everything. Sort of a perfectionist. So everything overall is really good so far, but that's kind of what I would do to improve. So yeah, that's the bulk here. I know it's been a long video so far. So I think we spent enough time on the images and video. And then scrolling down, what I see here is I don't see your product anywhere here. These are all, if you see the sponsored little kind of icon here, these are all ads. So basically people are either directly or indirectly targeting your ASIN, your product, and then their products are showing up. So make sure that you've set up brand defense campaigns. What does that mean? That means you want to create sponsored product targeting, video product targeting, and a sponsor display product targeting campaign. All three of those different campaigns, you're going to target your own ASIN. So it's this product, right, is the product that you're advertising, and the product that you're targeting is your own product, right? Why? Because then this product here, right, your water bottle will show up here in this section. Now, why is that important? Because that's going to push at least one of these competitors off of your listing, okay? And if you have other variations, take those variations and also target them, okay? So basically, yeah, you're targeting your own listing with your own ASIN in order to kind of block off some of these different competitors. Because right now, your product, I don't see it here, could be missing it, no, is not showing up here, right? And that's just another opportunity for someone to click and buy someone else's product. So you want to defend your listing. And that's a little kind of Amazon advertising hack. Usually you have a very low ACoS with that. But the key there is to keep competitors from stealing your market share. All right. So now we're scrolling down as you see the page. And as we scroll down, we get to the section that's actually somewhat new here on Amazon called Brand Story. Again, this is only available if you're brand registered. And first of all, great job that you have this. Overall, kind of looking through this, it looks really great. Talking about your story, your mission. It's exactly what you're supposed to do with your brand story. Like, why does your brand exist? Like, what are you trying to accomplish in the world? Like, what are you trying to do to serve others? Okay. Whatever that is, that's what's going to go in your brand story. Hire an agency to do this. I wouldn't recommend doing it yourself, which it looks like you both have done, and really great job with it. So the brand story here appears on all of their products that they sell on Amazon. So just talking about their brand and what's the point of it? Like, what's the benefit? 2. So number 1, anything that you can add on your listing, it's going to block out competitors. So now this whole section blocks out other competitors that would normally show up. Okay. So that's number 1. Number 2 is each of these kind of sections or the images here in this section, you can add what's called alternative text or alt text. So that is keywords that go inside your image that Amazon can read and rank for. So basically you have your title, your bullet points. You also have your search term field on the back end. That's actually the second most important. Number 1 most important for keywords is your title. Number 2 is your search terms, which I'll include a screenshot here so you can see what it looks like. It's on the back end, hidden on Amazon, which is great for misspellings and Spanish keywords if you're in the US. And then the third most important is your bullet points. And then finally, your brand story and your product description. Your A+ content, which we'll talk about here in a second. The alt text for both of these sections, the brand story here and the A+ content down here, are the final most important. You want to make sure that you're, including brand new keywords that are relevant, as well as repeating important keywords in the alt text, which is about 100 characters per image. So really great job here. If you have access to brand story, use it. If you're not already using it, do it, and you'll immediately see an increase in conversion rate. As you can see here, now we have the product description. This is, again, only available if you're brand registered. If you're not brand registered, if you are quote unquote a regular Amazon seller, this will just be a lump of text. You have 2,000 characters. I have a video showing you how to use ChatGPT to generate, a decent description. But I can tell you, this is data from Amazon, from someone inside Amazon, that on average, listings that have A+ content convert 5.5% better than listings that don't. So just by having decent A+ content, your conversion rate, basically by having average quality A+ content, your conversion rate will likely increase by 5.5%, which is actually huge. Like 5% more sales for everyone that visits your listing. And that's on average. If you have really good A+ content, that goes up. So anyway, same idea with the images. Most thing important first and go down. And also it's really important, what is really going to capture your audience's attention? Think about it. Someone was up here. Why did someone go here from the images, the video, the bullet points? Why is someone scrolling? Why? Why is someone scrolling all the way down here? Because obviously they weren't convinced and nothing was catching their attention up there. So they're looking for something that it didn't solve. So you don't want to just repeat what's already been repeated. You want to include different images, which you can already see that you're doing here, different lifestyle images, which is good. Yeah, different images or, highlighting other benefits. So maybe like, for example, your 5 most important features or benefits, boom, they're up there with the images. But let's say there's like 3 other that are really important. Make sure you include them down here, or maybe include your important points in another way. Basically, don't just repeat your images and repost them down here. It needs to be kind of different. Think about your audience. What are they not getting that you can give them and then give it to them, right? Easier said than done. That's why it's very important to hire a professional agency, which I'll have some, if you want, let me know. I can give you some links to the agencies that we use, like AMZ One Step, Share It Studio. Those are a couple really great options. And actually, Amanda, if you don't mind commenting on this video, who did you use for your images? If you don't mind sharing that, I think we'd find that valuable. So really well done overall. I'm not going to spend too much time going through because your images are going to be way more important than your A+ content. And what I can see, it's well done. You want to have something really eye-catching at the top, which looks like you've done. Oh, by the way, on a separate note, love your logo. Beautiful. And I like the incorporation. It incorporates the water with the crab, like cleanliness, water. Sea life, and then heart, so health. So water and health totally makes sense. I love that logo. So, okay, great A+ content. And I'm just going to show you some other great examples of A+ content as well. The same examples I've given before about the images. Now here it is with the A+ content. So you just kind of go down, scroll through here, and pause if you want to kind of see this. Really great. And actually, I'm going to give you one little hack. Here's the thyroid supplement again. And what I really love here, okay, I really want to call this out. We do this with our own brand, is we like to have kind of a continuous A+ content that almost is like super cohesive like this. So we have this kind of orange color and it continues down here. Like, look at that. These are each of these. See, that's a section. This is a section. They're all different sections, but it looks super professional, very high converting. So that's the type that I like to do. But again, there's no one way to do A+ content. And I would really rely on a good agency who's going to have really good perspective for your brand. But yeah, there's just something I really like to do. And I'll look at one last example, Travelissimo, the backpack. So again, great job with the brand story. Boom. Enjoy delicious meals on the go. Their main benefit right at the top, eye-catching. Great example of how to start your A+ content. Beautiful. Really well done. A little bit crowded, but really well done. Awesome, awesome A+ content examples to give you some inspiration. Now, what's missing from, I think, all of these is and it's only true if you're selling multiple variations, like multiple similar products. If you're selling other water bottles or other, workout accessories or whatever it might be, make sure that you have, it's called a comparison chart within A+ content. Include a comparison chart down here. And then have your other products listed. So it's basically like a table or like a grid. So you have, water bottle number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and just listed there. And the title can say like other water bottles by Mighty Vessel. So other products you may love from Mighty Vessel, you have them listed and they're clickable to where if someone scrolls all the way down here and they're not interested, that's the last thing you want to have because you can capture them. They might not buy this product. They might buy one of your other products. So that's why it's important to have down here. And past the A+ content, the last section that we're going to look at is this little section right here called videos for this product, as well as the videos for related products. Okay, so this is really cool. If you have user-generated content, if you have people who are making TikTok videos, YouTube videos, or just custom videos for you about your product, take those videos and you as the brand owner can upload them to Amazon. So you can upload them and they'll all show up right here, and they can show up on your competitors' pages as well in the related video section. Okay, so that's a little hack. So gather all the videos that you have about your product. You can either upload them, you can have friends and family upload them, so they're uploaded from different people, which is actually best. But if you want, you can just make it simple, upload, so Mighty Vessel uploads all of their videos here. It's great they already have the same video from their listing, right? It just shows up again here. But make sure you upload all the videos here because number one, it's just more opportunity to convert someone who's going all the way down the page, which you'd be surprised. There's actually a lot of shoppers that get to this point. It's shocking. I never do, but there's a lot of shoppers who do. And then also they'll show up on other product detail pages. So yeah, just to recap, title, super important. All your most important keywords, focus on individual keywords. Also, I would break this up and I would have actually commas. And after about 5 words, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere around maybe here because of the brand name, I'd have a dash. And then I would kind of segment out with a few commas to make this a little bit more readable. I think I forgot to mention that. But anyway, it's still okay as is. Don't necessarily need to change it just to make it a little bit more readable. But individual keywords that are important to your product, that's going to influence your canonical URL. So now your canonical URL is optimized. Your title is maxed out. Benefits first in all caps. Unlike other XYZ product, while other products do this, here's what our product does. Benefit first in all caps, backup with features. Make sure you're using around 200 characters per bullet point. Your main image is the most important. A/B test using PickFu or Amazon Experiments. Make sure you have a brand video if you're brand registered. And if you're not brand registered, get brand registered ASAP. Make sure that you're targeting your own product with sponsored product ads, sponsored brand video ad, and a sponsored display product targeting ad. Include brand story and A+ content, and then upload videos, along with obviously having phenomenal product where you get awesome reviews, competitively priced, having a coupon code. All of that may seem like a lot, but it is. You do this, you'll be even in the top 1% of Amazon sellers. So now we can breathe. I hope you found this valuable. And if you have any questions, like I said, let me know in the comment section below. And if you want our full Amazon SEO playlist, I'll be linking that in the description, along with our affordable and complete proven Amazon SEO Masters course. And remember, once this video gets 50 comments, I'm going to randomly choose one person from the comments to get free lifetime access to our program. So if you want a chance to win, comment below. And hope you found this valuable. As always, God bless you and your business. I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial.